Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I'm Atlas Opia, and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to make space for a new timeline. We all have desires in this human body, a version of life we can see that is more aligned with our heart and where our soul wants us to go. But moving from one pattern of energy into another can bring up complications. And so if you watch until the end of this video, I can address some techniques you can use to allow this new energy to come in so you can pivot and experience reality from a position that you are more empowered in. If you're back on this video, or if you're new to this channel, definitely consider subscribe, comment down below what you've experienced in this subject, like if you enjoy the content, and let me know if you have any questions. To jump right into it, the idea of timelines means a different trajectory of energy. And when you look back on your life and you say, wow, I was a different person when this happened. This seemed like it wasn't even real because I feel so different from the version of myself that I was during a particular age. That's because those were different parallel realities. And that concept just allows you to move into a space where you realize that it is your choice to decide a new direction in life. And whenever you make a new choice about how you're going to live in this world, or you decide to view yourself in an entirely different way, or you look at reality with a new lens, you are creating a new point of energy. And depending on this new decision you make, there is a line of experiences, people, thoughts, emotions, manifestations that come from this point in time that you're going to now choose to align with. It's almost like you have multiple stories that you have the potential to embody in this reincarnation. And because energy reproduces itself, when you want to align with a version of life that is very different from what you've experienced, try leaning into the philosophy that you can choose to feel into an abundance in this universe, knowing that energy cannot be created or destroyed, and you can only align with an energy that already exists. And the moment you have a thought about what if I had this life, what if I had this job, how would everything be if this manifestation occurred, the quantum field creates a new storyline with corresponding experiences, people, thoughts, emotions, and details that expand from that original thought in order to make it possible. And so when you're pivoting and shifting and you feel resistance, that may be because you are called to look at the energetic hooks you have in old timelines. So when you're wanting to create something new, you still have to address what you have created in the past. And the beliefs that were inside of you that manifested into those experiences, which now you're being faced to look at and show a more healing perspective towards. And the way you can do that is not by putting down your shadow or putting down the insecure beliefs you may have about life and the beliefs that exist in your cellular system that really present a disempowering way to be here. You look at those things as if that part of you is sitting across from you. Have a conversation with your shadow. Have a conversation with the version of you that may have experienced a pattern of traumatic or disempowering experiences, and say, I know why you feel the way you do. You have every right to feel angry or upset or small or inferior or frustrated because something happened and you reacted towards it. Sometimes the reason why we can't let go of old versions of life, different stories we have embodied throughout this lifetime, is because we are not giving that energy the right to exist. And when it happened, we may have been in the immediate divine masculine energy, which is, how do I logically move past this? But there is a calling to balance your masculine and feminine energy. So when we move past difficult experiences, we often have to revisit them and allow the emotions to occur and tell that version of ourselves that is having that experience that it is okay to feel exactly what they are feeling. And then that moves from this dismissive energy to this accepting energy. And then the part of you that wants to get your attention by continually coming up can move forward because it feels like it's done its job in presenting the information to you. So when you're making space, really what you're doing is you're letting go of the attachment that life is a certain way, that we are a certain person, and things work in a certain manner. Now consciously, we may feel like, yeah, I know that I can choose at any point to tap into an experience that I would like to manifest, and truly there is this feeling there of, this is mine, and it's very possible to experience this because the emotions are coming while I'm imagining having this experience. So in that present moment, you can realize that there may be subconscious attachments to the old timelines you have. And by timelines, remember, I'm talking about a pattern of energy that continually reproduces on itself. A trajectory of life that you may have been on, or a particular theme that had happened during your life. That's a particular unique storyline. And you have to ask yourself, from a very honest point of view, what am I getting by continually attaching to this belief? And oftentimes, we say, what do you mean? Why would I attach to something bringing me down? What am I getting from this, right? Well, if you release the need to judge good or bad, you can see these ideas and not feel the need to deflect them as you realize, okay, what does this disempowering part of my system create? And how have I used this creation? It can be a situation where you may feel like you're a perfectionist, and there may be a belief inside of you, which I've also had, that I don't want to see myself in a light that is not exactly aligned with my potential. So people who are creative can feel like they don't want to even start a project at the risk of messing up. So what they get from being a perfectionist is not seeing themselves fail in a type of way. So making space comes from letting go of any need to get redemption from an old part of you. Any need to get justification from something that has happened to you. Because when you get justification, you're trying to use everything in your experience to elevate your vibration and your sort of pride and your sort of, vibrational resonance with who you are, so you can feel that bad thing happened for a reason, right? Like, look at me now, that thing that happened, I'm way much further than that part of me, because there were times where we judged the versions of life that we were living, the person we have been at different moments in our life can be a sort of guilt cycle for us, where we feel guilty for creating a certain experience, and then we feel down about ourselves, and then we want to grow and create a new life because we don't accept the people that we have hurt, or the things people have done to us, or what we may have caused based on our actions previously. The better way to look at manifestation, personal growth, expansion, and quantum jumping is, I am curious how it would feel to have this experience. I'm curious how this new life would make me feel on earth. You use your inner child to say, I'm moving towards growth because I want to have a time on earth where I feel playful and I'm creating what is closer to my heart. But a lot of us, including me, have a subconscious feeling of, I have to grow, I have to heal, I have to work on myself because that old version of me is not good enough. Because the person I was in the past is someone that I am shameful of and I feel bad about even being. So to pivot this is moving into a state of neutrality where you see that version of you in the past and that particular story you may have been living with a sense of pureness. You bring your heart from the inner child and you visit that version of you in your imagination and you say, you are exactly where you need to be. This thing that is happening is part of the larger puzzle. It's not something I did wrong. It is something that happened that is going to lead to me developing new skills and expanding who I am because I have gone through what I created for myself. And you give that part of you a sense of, I'm sorry you have to go through this. I know this is difficult and I know that you're powerful and I feel your pain and I feel your sadness, and old version of me, you were really strong. You were really great when all this happened. That's how you can make peace with old patterns of energy so you can move into a new one. And the last thing before I jump off of here is try to lean into your intuition. And when you think of your manifestation, feel into all the experiences that would have to occur for this manifestation to solidify. And then all the experiences that would occur after this manifestation occurred. And you could see a chronological timeline of beautiful cause and effects that lead to an accumulation of more of what you want. It's almost like you're tapping into an episode of a TV show where the character gets something and you're seeing all that happen before and after. So when you feel into that and the totality of what is in that new version of you, you can better shift because you're more aligned with the puzzle pieces that have to come together to make it whole, and you're aligning with that whole frame of time instead of that one experience. And to look at a timeline you were in, you could see in your past, were there different versions of who you were? And this could be when you had a particular job, or you were in a particular country, or you were dealing with a particular adversity or trauma, or you were learning something new. You could kind of see how each one of those periods were a unique pattern of energy. And so to move into that pattern of energy, it's almost like you're feeling into that experience being real, knowing that anything is possible because you're an interdimensional soul having a human experience, deciding how the universe relates to you and how you connect to the energy that's already in it. And you imagine rolling with the energy sideways as if you're swiping right, and you're moving into a new frame or a new image or a new way of existing. That is where you're wanting to go and the place you're wanting to tap into. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of today's video. I make new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. If you're interested in understanding how your interdimensional system works, then definitely consider subscribing. What I do here is I create an organized way to package spiritual knowledge so the mind can actually digest it. And if you're a starseed and an empath, and you truly feel as if you have absorbed large amounts of information from different spiritual philosophies, and it's helped you, but there's something else you need to know, I am offering a new way of interacting with your consciousness. I have been channeling this new technology and, set of skills that can allow a soul to interact with energy in a unique way while in this human body. You may have particular desires and motives and tasks that starseed reincarnation wants to carry out, and to bring that into this life, you have to reprogram your mind so you're able to actually do that work, so you can be more aligned with your power and who you are. Well, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.